Have you ever found yourself out of breath just halfway up a staircase? Or maybe your knees start to ache every time you're going down the stairs? Well, you are definitely not alone. Millions of people over the age of 60 struggle with stair climbing every single day. But here's some really exciting news for you. There are just 3 specific exercises that can completely transform your ability to climb stairs, making you feel decades younger. In this comprehensive guide, I'm going to walk you through these 3 essential exercises, step by step. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what these exercises are, but also exactly why they work so effectively. Plus, as a bonus, I'll share a simple technique that has helped countless people reduce their knee and hip pain when navigating stairs. Before we dive into the exercises themselves, it's as crucial to understand what's happening in your body that makes stairs so challenging in the first place. The answer lies in a condition called sarcopenia. Now, don't let this fancy medical term intimidate you. It simply refers to the natural loss of muscle mass that everyone experiences as they get older. Here's what you need to know. This muscle loss actually begins after age 30. Yes, you read that correctly. Even people in their 30s start losing muscle mass. However, the real acceleration happens after age 50. This is when the loss becomes much more substantial and noticeable in our daily lives. Think about the muscles involved in climbing stairs for a moment. You have your quadriceps at the front of your thighs, your gluteal muscles in your buttocks, your hip stabilizers, and all the muscles around your knees. All of these play critical roles in getting you up and down those steps safely and efficiently. When these muscles weaken due to sarcopenia, every single step becomes harder, and every staircase can feel like climbing a mountain. But here's where the good news comes in. Research has conclusively shown that we can actually reverse sarcopenia. We are not helpless victims of aging. The solution is something called progressive strength training, or PST for short. Let me paint you a picture to help you understand how PST works. Imagine you have an old bicycle that's been sitting in your garage for years. When you finally pull it out, what do you find? The chain is rusty, the pedals are stiff, the tires are flat, and everything just feels stuck. You can't just jump on and ride it smoothly, right? But what happens when you take the time to maintain it properly? You pump up the tires, oil the chain, adjust the brakes, and lubricate the pedals. Suddenly, that old bicycle rides almost like new. It's smooth, it's efficient, and it's enjoyable to use again. Your body works in exactly the same way. When you haven't been using your muscles regularly, they become like that rusty bicycle. But with progressive strength training, you're essentially giving your body a complete tune-up. You're oiling the joints, strengthening the muscles, and making everything work together smoothly again. I've personally witnessed this transformation in my practice countless times. People in their 60s and even 70s who start these exercises consistently report that within just a few weeks, they're climbing stairs like they did in their 40s. The transformation is real, and it's absolutely achievable for you too. So, let's get into the first exercise. Alright, let's dive into our first exercise, which targets the 2 most important muscle groups for climbing stairs, your quadriceps and your glutes. These are the powerhouse muscles that do all the heavy lifting when you're going up or down. The great thing about this exercise is that it hits both of these crucial muscle groups at the same time, making it incredibly efficient. So, how do you do the slow sit stand? First, find a stable, sturdy chair. This is really important, no wobbly chairs or chairs with wheels. Sit down normally, with your feet about shoulder width apart on the floor. Now scoot forward until you're right at the edge of the chair. Move your feet back a little, so they're just behind your knees, not directly under them. This positioning is key for getting the right muscles to work. You've got 2 options here, depending on your balance. Option 1. If you feel stable, hold your arms straight out in front of you. This will challenge your balance and engage your core. Option 2. If balance is a bit of a concern, and there's absolutely no shame in that, you can use the armrests or hold on to the seat of the chair to help push yourself up. Safety always comes first. From this position, push yourself up to a standing position. Really focus on squeezing your quads and your glutes as you rise. Push through your heels and stand up with purpose, but don't go so fast that you're just using momentum. Once you're fully standing, make sure that chair is still right behind you. Then, if you're using them, reach back for the armrests. And here's the most important part. Slowly lower yourself back down. This slow, controlled descent is where the real magic happens. It's called an eccentric contraction, and it's one of the best ways to build muscle strength quickly. When you lower yourself slowly, your muscles are working hard to fight gravity. This creates tiny micro tears in the muscle fibers that, when they heal, make your muscles stronger and more resilient. For your routine, aim for 10 repetitions. One full rep is going from sitting to standing and back to sitting again. I recommend doing a set of 10 reps about 2 to 3 times throughout your day. Maybe one set in the morning, another in the afternoon, and one in the evening. Spreading them out gives your muscles time to recover while still getting consistent stimulation for growth. The biggest mistake to avoid here is using momentum to get up. I often see people rocking back and forth or using a quick jerk to stand. While this might feel easier, it totally defeats the purpose. When you use momentum, it's doing the work instead of your muscles. To build strength, every movement needs to be slow, controlled, and mindful. Think quality over quantity. It's much better to do 5 perfect reps than 20 sloppy ones. Now that we've worked the front and back of your legs, let's focus on a muscle many people forget, the gluteus medius. This is a crucial hip stabilizer located on the side of your hip. This muscle is essential for keeping you upright and stable when you standing on one leg, which is exactly what you do with every single step on the stairs. When your gluteus medius is weak, your pelvis can tilt and your hips become unstable, which dramatically increases your risk of falling. For this next exercise, you'll need a small step or stepper, ideally about 4 inches high. If you don't have one, the bottom step of your staircase can work. Just know that a typical stair is about 8 inches high, which might be too challenging at first. I always recommend starting with a smaller step. As you get stronger over the next few weeks, you can gradually increase the height to make it more challenging. That's the progressive part of progressive strength training. So here's how to do the lateral step up. Start by standing beside your step. Use support if you need it. Hold onto a wall or railing. There's no shame in it. Place one foot firmly on top of the step. Make sure that foot is near the middle, not close to the edge where you might roll off. Now, push down through that elevated foot and step up, bringing your other foot up to meet it. Both feet should now be on the step. From here, step down sideways with the leg that started on the ground, then bring the other foot down to meet it. The key is to keep the working leg the one that stays on the step planted firmly and stable the whole time. You're basically stepping up and down sideways, not walking over the step. Your goal is to do 10 to 20 repetitions on each side. You should feel your muscles working, but you shouldn't feel any sharp pain. A little muscle fatigue is normal and even good, but intense pain is a sign to stop and check your form. The most common mistake I see is people leaning from side to side, which throws off their balance. If you find yourself doing this, it means you need to use more support. There is absolutely nothing wrong with holding on to something stable while you build up your strength. Start with as much support as you need, and as you get stronger over the coming weeks, you can gradually use less. This progression challenges both your muscles and your balance, leading to better overall stability. Once you can comfortably do 10 to 20 reps on each side with good form, it's time to move up to a higher step. This might mean graduating to a regular stair step, which will give your strengthening muscles a whole new challenge. Alright, let's dive into our third exercise, and honestly, this one is a game changer. It's based on some amazing research from a 2022 study that found an incredibly effective way for people over 65 to boost muscle mass and performance. What's so special about it? It's super simple, yet remarkably powerful at fighting off that age-related muscle loss. Let's talk about how to do the step down. You can use a workout step or even just the bottom step of a staircase in your home. Start by standing on the step with both feet facing down. If you have a handrail nearby and need it for balance, go ahead and use it. From this position, you're going to slowly step down with one foot until it just touches the floor. And here's the most important part. Slowly reverse that movement, bringing your foot back up to the step. That's 1 rep. The key word here is slowly. This isn't about quickly stepping down and bouncing back up. Every single part of the movement should be controlled and deliberate. Try to aim for about 10 to 20 repetitions on each leg. Now, here's how we make this exercise incredibly powerful. The 2022 study found that when you add a little weight like holding a 10 to 15 pound dumbbell or wearing a weighted vest, you take this exercise to a whole new level. This is because it taps into a principle called eccentric strengthening. We touched on eccentric contractions earlier with the sit to stand, and the same idea applies here, but even more intensely. When you're lowering your foot to the ground while holding that extra weight, your muscles are lengthening but also contracting at the same time to control the descent. In the world of exercise science, this is known as one of the absolute best ways to build muscle mass quickly. Of course, proper form is critical. As you're doing this, really focus on engaging your glutes, your quads, and those side glutes, that gluteus medius we talked about. Pay close attention to your knee. It should not collapse inward toward your other leg. You want to keep your knee tracking in line with your foot or even slightly out toward your pinky toe. This alignment is what protects your knee joint from unnecessary strain. If you see your knee starting to cave in, just reduce the weight or slow down the movement even more until you can maintain perfect form. So why is this exercise so effective? It's probably the most relevant exercise for stair climbing because it directly mimics the movement you use when you're going downstairs. You're training your body to do exactly what it needs to do in real life, making it a fantastically functional way to build the right muscles, fast. Now that we've covered the 3 essential exercises for building that crucial muscle strength, I want to share one final secret with you. This is a technique that has helped hundreds of people conquer stairs without pain, even after they've recovered from leg or back surgery. When I work with patients who struggle with stairs, I almost always see 2 common mistakes. First, they pull themselves up the stairs using the handrail. Now, the handrail is definitely there for safety and support, but if you're relying on it to pull your entire body weight up, your leg muscles aren't doing the work they're supposed to be doing. The second mistake is pushing their body weight straight up. This might feel like the natural thing to do, but it's actually working against your body's own mechanics. So why are these methods a problem? When you pull yourself up with the railing or push straight up, your body weight is positioned behind the step you're trying to climb. This makes the movement so much harder than it needs to be, and it significantly increases your risk of falling backward. Instead of just pulling or pushing straight up when you climb stairs, try this better technique. As you step up, lean forward just a little, either from your hips or your back. I'm not talking about a big dramatic bend at the waist, just a really subtle forward shift of your body weight. This simple adjustment moves your weight over your toes and the step you're climbing onto. Your body will naturally tip forward, and believe it or not, gravity will start to help you, rather than fight you. This makes climbing stairs easier, more efficient, and so much safer. It also lets your powerful leg muscles do the work they were designed for instead of relying on your arms and upper body. The result is less strain on your knees and hips, less pain, and a much more natural, comfortable climb. So now you have all 3 exercises and the proper technique to completely transform how you handle stairs. But just knowing this isn't enough, you have to put it into action. Let's create your routine. I recommend starting with just the 3 exercises we've covered. Do the slow sit to stand exercise 2 to 3 times every day, doing about 10 repetitions each time. For the lateral step-ups, do those once a day on each side. Start with 10 repetitions and slowly build your way up to 20, and then incorporate the step-down exercise into your routine again, aiming to work up to 10 to 20 reps per leg. Now, the single most important factor for seeing results is consistency. It's just so much better to do these exercises regularly at a moderate level than to do them super intensely just once in a while. Your muscles need that consistent signal to grow stronger. Also, be patient with yourself. Remember, You didn't lose this muscle strength overnight, and you won't get it all back overnight either. But if you stick with these exercises, I promise you will see improvement. Most people start to notice a real difference within 2 to 3 weeks, and they see significant improvements by the 6 to 8 week mark. It's also crucial to listen to your body. Feeling some muscle fatigue and a little bit of mild soreness is totally normal when you're rebuilding strength. But sharp pain or severe discomfort is not. If you experience any pain that worries you, stop the exercise and think about talking with a healthcare provider or a physical therapist. Climbing stairs really doesn't have to be a painful, exhausting chore. With these 3 targeted exercises and the right technique, you can rebuild the strength and confidence you need to get up and down stairs easily and safely. The great thing about these exercises is that they're simple. They require almost no equipment, and you can do them right in the comfort of your own home. You don't need a fancy gym membership or expensive gear, just your own commitment and consistency. So I encourage you to start today. Your future self will thank you for it. The you who's climbing stairs without pain, keeping up with the grandkids, and holding on to your independence. Stay strong, keep moving, and always remember that age is just a number. With the right approach, you can maintain and even improve your physical abilities well into your later years. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.